Challenge Charly number 11 starts in London and will hopefully end in Brighton. Liz has challenged me to cycle the 54-mile route together with her friends Sam, Jen and Antonia. 27,000 people are taking part in the race organised by the British Heart Foundation, and unfortunately that means lots and lots of queuing. As we go through the start banner, we're still pushing our bikes, and it takes another 2 hours until we have space to properly cycle. We are at the 30-mile mark, we think. We've just stopped for some lunch. It's now 20 to 2, and we started technically at 9, though I don't think we actually properly started cycling until about 10:30 because we were just pushing our bikes through London in a massive crowd. And as you can see, there's still queues. It's just 25,000 people on the road is just a nightmare. I'm not doing too badly. I don't really like hills, so going up the hills I'm really slow and I'm a bit crap at finding my gears. I may need a gear lesson if I decide to do any more cycling challenges. And then coming down I'm a bit of a wuss, so I'm sort of the one at the back with my brakes on, which isn't very extreme of me, I know. But I'm really scared of hitting the pavement. This is definitely far scarier than any of the other challenges I've done, and I'm just riding a bike. But yeah, as you can see, we're just at the rest stop in this little village. I don't even want to get back in the queue because it just looks like we're not actually going to be able to cycle again for another 10-15 minutes until we get out of this village. So other than the hills, the distance isn't proving too hard. My bum's getting a little bit sore. And I think it's just a question of plodding on. I kind of wish there were mile markers because you can't really tell how far around you are. We've just got a bit of paper that tells us where all the stops are, and we're at stop I, which looks like it's at 30 miles round. So I think it might be a bit more of an incentive if maybe they've marked every 5 miles or something. Hey, I'm at the second to last refreshment stop. Now, we've only chosen to stop at 3 of the refreshment stops because they are quite close together, and so this is the last one we're stopping at. It's just before Beacon Hill, which looks like it's going to be an absolute nightmare. We've got given sort of like a gradient chart that just shows sort of the ups and downs, like a little chart where it goes up and down as to, that's all we know about the route. They don't give you any mile markers or anything like that, and so all I know is that after this stop there is a very big uphill. It's definitely a hill to sort the men from the boys or the ladies from the girls, and I'm definitely a girl. I don't think I'm going to be able to cycle the whole way up. I think I might have to get up and push, mainly because on the steep slopes I've noticed, because there are so many people cycling, you just get people that are really meandering, really struggling to keep pedalling, and so they can't control their bike, and so you get people sway in front of you, and you just have to keep stopping and starting and stopping and starting, and when you lose momentum it's just so hard to keep going. So there have been a couple of the hills which I've had to get off and push the bike up just because I was going to crash into someone. So I have a feeling that this one is going to be a toughie. I haven't had the camera out while I've been cycling so far, just because, to be honest, it's not been the safest thing to do. There are people cutting in front, left, right, centre. I've almost come off my bike so many times now just because people aren't really looking where they're going, which is a real shame. This is a great cycle ride because so many people, you can see the crowds of people that have entered this, and apparently someone was saying that it's like the most entered distance cycle ride in the world. I'm not sure how true that is, but there are 27,000 people here. About 27,000 people, and very few of them are looking out for other people. People are just blocking the road. It's really hard to overtake people, and then when people are overtaking you, they kind of cut right in front of you and they don't give you any room or any warning. So it's weird. I don't really feel all that safe, and it's silly, I'm just riding a bike, and yet this is one of the least safe challenges that I feel like I've done so far. But it's almost over. I'm guessing we've got about another 5 or 6 miles, something like that. Those 5 or 6 miles were long ones, and not just because of the beacon. When we reached Brighton city centre, we were greeted by familiar queues, and it took over 45 minutes to complete the final mile. Still queuing. Everyone's struggling to pedal, and the rain started about 20 minutes ago, so we're all just getting soggy and waiting to finish. Even with the finish line, Brighton Sea Front, in sight, we still had to sit and wait. Almost there. It's getting pretty wet.
Somebody's got their light on their helmet, expecting bright in the daylight. So it's nice to see you arrive so soon.
No sprint finish. We've been told to slow down. After 8 hours of managing not to crash, as I went over the finish line, I went to switch the camera off and almost fell off my bike and into the arms of one of the marshals, providing the man on the loudspeaker with some extra entertainment. The guy that was doing commentary on the finish line apparently managed to fit it into his commentary that one of the riders had just managed to fall off the bike whilst filming with a video camera. So I am famous around Brighton. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to catch it on camera. At the finish, I had my race card stamped and I collected my medal. Real gold. It's been a very wet and frustratingly slow end to the race, but we're here in Brighton, so challenge completed. To be honest, the distance actually wasn't a problem at all. I think I could do a lot further than that on the flat, but it's just the hills. I just really hate cycling up hills, so I do need to get a lot better at that if I'm thinking about doing Land's End to John O'Groats. But I think what I'm going to do is see if I can find 100 miles to cycle from Brighton, where I'm going to have to leave my bike, ideally flat, and see if I can do it in a day. Sounds like a nice next cycling challenge.